Lowe's knows July 4th savings are worth celebrating. Right now, get up to 40% off select major appliances and get an additional 10% off 2 or more select major appliances. Plus, get 3 Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. These deals are coming in hot. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Going to the gym can be discouraging, especially if you're putting in the work but barely seeing changes. But with Tonal, you can actually see your progress with every workout. Tonal provides the convenience of a full gym and the expertise of a personal trainer anytime at home with one sleek system. Designed to reduce your mental load, Tonal is the ultimate strength training system, helping you focus less on workout planning and more on getting results. No more second-guessing your technique. Tonal gives you real-time coaching cues to dial in your form and help you lift safely and effectively. After a quick assessment, Tonal sets the optimal weight for every move and adjusts in 1-pound increments as you get stronger, so you're always challenged. Tonal lets you choose from a variety of expert-led workouts, from strength to aero hit to yoga and mobility to keep you coming back for more. For a limited time, go to Tonal.com to get $500 off your Tonal purchase, plus a free 4-year warranty. That's Tonal.com for $500 off, plus a free 4-year warranty. Tonal.com.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where there's a fake Marco Rubio, this is Ballot.
That's right, and there's a new version of COVID. Let's hit this. Hi, I'm Marco Rubio. Patrick Gutfield is off today. So, someone has been impersonating Secretary of State Marco Rubio using AI technology to fool foreign ministers, a governor, and a member of Congress. Which means we've officially reached the point where even our top diplomats can't trust their own voices anymore. The imposter created a Signal account with the display name marco.rubio@state.gov and started leaving voicemails that sounded exactly like Rubio. Now, I don't know what's more concerning, that someone can fake a government official's voice this easily, or that our Secretary of State is conducting diplomacy through Signal like he's planning a surprise birthday party. According to experts, all you need is 15 to 20 seconds of audio to clone someone's voice. For Marco Rubio, that's probably just one Senate speech about how great America is. The software literally has a button that says, "I have permission to use this person's voice," which is the digital equivalent of crossing your fingers behind your back. The State Department cable warned that the imposter contacted 3 foreign ministers, which means somewhere in the world, there are diplomats who think Marco Rubio personally called them to discuss international relations. Those are going to be some awkward follow-up meetings. This comes after someone breached White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles' phone in May and started calling senators and governors while pretending to be her. When asked about it, Trump dismissed the whole thing, saying Wiles is an amazing woman who can handle it, which is presidential speak for "this is fine, everything is fine." The FBI issued a warning that malicious actors are running an ongoing malicious text and voice messaging campaign targeting senior officials. Their advice? Do not assume it is authentic. So basically, we've reached the point where government officials need to ask each other security questions like, "What's your mother's maiden name?" before discussing foreign policy. A UC Berkeley professor pointed out that this wouldn't be a problem if officials didn't use Signal for government business. But apparently, our leaders love encrypted messaging apps more than teenagers love TikTok. In March, the National Security Advisor Michael Waltz accidentally added a journalist to a Signal group discussing attack plans in Yemen, which contributed to his firing. That's like accidentally CCing the New York Times on your battle strategy. The whole thing shows how AI has made impersonation so easy that foreign intelligence services are probably just sitting around with voice cloning software like it's a smartphone app. Meanwhile, our diplomats are getting pranked by what amounts to a very sophisticated version of calling someone pretending to be their refrigerator running. Next thing you know, AI will be hosting dopey podcasts making fun of the news. Welcome to 2025, where you can't even trust your own Secretary of State unless you verify it's really him first. So, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem just posted a series of portraits of herself dressed as a cowgirl on horseback and asked her Instagram followers to vote on which one should hang in the South Dakota state capitol. Yes, This is how we're choosing official government portraits now, through social media polls. The portraits show Noem in full Western getup, complete with cowboy hat, riding through what looks like a Wild West movie set. One shows her gazing contemplatively into the distance, another has her galloping with her earrings glittering, and the third shows her squinting into the sun. Apparently, thoughtful frontier woman is the vibe she's going for. Her followers were eager to weigh in. One said option 2 captures your pursuit of making America safe again, which is a very diplomatic way of saying you look ready to lasso some immigrants. Another praised how it shows her powerful and yet contemplative manner, because nothing says deep thinking like posing on a horse for Instagram. But not everyone was impressed. One commenter asked, "Where's the dog?" a reference to cricket. The 14-month-old puppy she famously shot for being bad at pheasant hunting. Another simply called it ridiculous, saying she's no Calamity Jane, you're just Calamity. This is far from Noem's first costume party. Since becoming DHS secretary, she's dressed up as a firefighter, a pilot, an ICE agent, and a Border Patrol officer. She's basically the government equivalent of someone who owns every Halloween costume at Party City. The criticism reached a peak when she visited El Salvador's mega prison wearing a $60,000 gold Rolex and posed in front of stripped, humiliated prisoners. When Fox News asked if she looked too glamorous wandering through prisons, she brushed it off, saying she tries not to pay attention to the noise, which is government speak for "I'm going to keep doing photo shoots whether you like it or not." Even some right-wing supporters have had enough. Meghan McCain criticized her for holding a gun barrel directly at a law enforcement official's head in a photo, saying maybe she should try pulling her hair back in a baseball cap and not doing a photo op. When Meghan McCain is telling you to tone down the theatrics, you might want to listen. The whole thing shows how politics has become performance art. We've got a Homeland Security Secretary who treats her job like she's auditioning for a Western movie, asking the public to vote on her best cowgirl look. Next thing you know, she'll be asking followers to choose between her astronaut costume and her deep-sea diver outfit.
What if everything you've been taught about happiness is wrong? We chase careers, approval, more stuff, hoping it'll finally make us feel fulfilled, but it never sticks. What if happiness isn't out there, but already inside you, just waiting to be unlocked? Discover the book, The Happiness Experiment. Every person has a unique happiness type, and when you understand yours, everything shifts. You'll stop chasing and start creating joy on your own terms. Discover your happiness type with a free happiness type assessment. Go to myhappinesstype.com. That's myhappinesstype.com. It takes just a minute and it might change your life. Then grab your copy of The Happiness Experiment at Books A Million. This isn't just a book, it's a practical framework, a journey inward. It's a tool to help you reconnect with the happiness that's been waiting inside you all along. Pick up The Happiness Experiment and start your happiness experiment today.
Lowe's knows July 4th savings are worth celebrating. Right now, get up to 40% off select major appliances and get an additional 10% off 2 or more select major appliances. Plus, get 3 Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. These deals are coming in hot. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
So just in time for peak summer travel season, the good news is you can keep your shoes on. The bad news is we've got a new COVID variant called XFG that's spreading to 38 countries and making up 30% of infections in the UK. The World Health Organization has added it to their variants under monitoring list, which is basically the CDC's way of saying, we're keeping an eye on this, but don't panic yet. XFG is part of the Omicron family tree, specifically deriving from the JN1 group. It's what scientists call a recombinant variant, meaning it's a combination of 2 other variants, LF7 and LP8.1.2, that somehow got together and decided to create something new. It's like COVID variants are having their own little mixing party. The variant went from 7% of global samples in May to nearly 23% just a few weeks later, which is the kind of growth rate that gets virologists' attention. Compared to the currently dominant variant in the US, XFG has 9 additional mutations in the spike protein, which sounds ominous but might just mean it's trying harder to get noticed. In the US, XFG accounts for 14% of confirmed cases, though the CDC notes that their tracking isn't precise because less data is being reported these days. So we're basically flying blind with incomplete information, which is always reassuring when dealing with global health threats. The good news is that vaccines appear to still work against XFG, though lab studies show slightly lower immune responses. Researchers tested it using human cells in something called a pseudovirus, which sounds like the scientific equivalent of a stunt double. The results suggest that current vaccines should still provide protection against severe disease, even if it's not as robust as against other variants. Which is scientists speak for we don't know what this thing is going to do, but we're paying attention just in case. So here we are in July 2025, still dealing with COVID variants that recombine and evolve faster than we can keep track of them. At least this one has a simple name. XFG sounds like a new energy drink or a boy band, not a global health concern. Portions of today's show were made with the help of AI and XFG. Now stick around for this interview and I will see you tomorrow.
I'm so excited to talk to you, Carl. Talk to me, a guy who's had this illustrious business career. What made you decide to write a book on happiness? You could have gone in some of the other directions.
Well, actually, I didn't, Donnie. I didn't decide to write a book. Something happened. This happiness experiment happened in real life, in real terms. I had no idea about writing a book, but I saw it working. The experiment was working. My friends and family were getting happier. They're increasing their happiness. And I saw it, so I thought, I need to write about this. And so that's when I got into writing the book.
And talk to me about pre-questing. Talk to me what it's about and how it's the foundation of things.
Well, it came about through 3 major things that happened in my life. One, I almost died in a plane crash. If you read the book, you'll find out whether I survived or not. Okay. The other thing that happened was I got a call from my sister in England. She told me her husband was dying. He had 6 months to live. So I flew to England, and she was in my will. And I said, Janet, you're in my will as a bequest, but that's something you need right now. So I'm going to make it a prequest. I'm going to bring that bequest forward and pay it to you now while you can enjoy it and your husband can fulfill his last wishes. She was overjoyed, burst into tears, of course, and said, oh, this is great. My brother was there at the same time. I said, Barry, since I've done this for my sister, I'm going to bring your bequest forward and make it a prequest. And he said, oh, that's fabulous. Thank you very much. You're very generous. His wife went ballistic. She said, this is too much money. It's wrong. I don't want anything to do with it, and stormed out of the room. So that was a real surprise. Anyhow, she got over it. And the next thing that happened is I looked in my investments. I got a lot of money sitting in investments, not doing anything. It wasn't working for me, wasn't working for my friends. So I said, why don't I use this money for my own success and happiness, and also for my friends, the people that helped me get to be wealthy and successful. That's what I did.
So it's not a one-time thing. This is kind of a lifetime experiment, if you will.
Yeah, it turned out that way because I didn't want to just give people money and say, be happy. I said, I want this to enrich your life, be something special. So I'd like you to think about it, plan something, write a happiness plan. They asked, what's a happiness plan? I said, when I get that, I'll give you all the money, and let's see how it works out.
So you talk about coaching and grants to reshape and change lives, which is timely given what's going on in the world today.
Yeah, and the thing is that it wasn't just about the money, Donnie. The money's important. We love money. It's good to have it. But what really worked with these people was the planning with a happiness coach. They thought about carefully what they wanted to do that's going to enrich their life, make them happier, what things they love, things that they were fascinated with. And they wrote all that down with a happiness coach. They had a plan. And as soon as I got the plan, I said, here's the money, all of it. It's all yours. You don't owe me anything, no strings attached. And they went off and started becoming happier.
It's incredible. So the inspiration for this was just your near-death experience?
Well, that was part of it. But it was a number of things that happened. First off, I was very, very grateful for the people that helped me to become successful. And being grateful is terrific. Okay. We love that.
Yeah.
We talk about gratitude and gratitude journaling, all those sort of things. But the real thing is expressing the gratitude, telling somebody how much you care about them, appreciating what they did for you, writing a letter. It doesn't have to be about money. It can be possessions. It can be money. It can be attention. It can be time. It can be knowledge, your wisdom that you share with younger people. But it's what you're doing while you're still alive that counts. When you're dead, it's over.
It's such a simple but brilliant point. And how do you think? Let's say play this out that people kind of really buy into this intentional happiness and pre-questing. How does the world become a better place? Let's take this up 10,000 feet.
Well, it would be great. The reason I wrote the book is I want this idea to get into the world, so that certainly the wealthy people, they can do the pre-questing, make themselves and their friends and family happier right now while they're still alive. The other thing, I want the book to show how these people planned, thought about their happiness, created a happiness plan, and then worked it and to become happier. And others can learn from their experiences, reading their plans and then doing the same thing. And in the back of my book, there's a workbook which goes through that step by step and a plan to increase your happiness.
How do we get this into the workplace, into schools, and kind of really, to your point, get this in there?
You know, that would be lovely. If it went into the schools, and I think in high schools, this would be a really good subject to put on the curriculum. What is happiness? How do you achieve happiness? What's it all about?
What is happiness?
It's a great question. You have to read my book. But in short, emotion, we all know what happiness is. It's feeling good. It's joyful. It's exhilaration. It's loving life. So it is a feeling. But it's also a mindset. You have to think that I deserve happiness.
Yeah.
I want to be happy. I'm taking my happiness seriously. So it's heart and mind, not just one or the other. So it's that combination. But really, I give a whole chapter in the book on what is happiness, and it's a great chapter. You'll love the book.
Now, a lot of people, I cannot wait to read it. I'm so excited. I'm like just turned on listening to you. A lot of people equate happiness to financial success and things. And what am I going to learn in the book about that?
Well, money is important. Okay, let's get that off the table. But it's not going to buy you happiness. The good use of money is really important, how you do it. But it's the mindset, it's the pursuit of happiness that counts. Taking your happiness seriously, wanting what you want, and what you want is important. Your dreams, your purposes in life, what you want to achieve in your career, what you want to with your family, what you want to achieve, the purposes all around, and what you value. Are you pursuing those values? Are you living those values? This is what it's all about. Money helps, but it's all those other spiritual things, if you like, psychological things that are really the root of happiness. And as we all know, some people are very rich and they're very unhappy. And there's
a lot of people
that are really happy.
I would say money can solve problems, but it can't buy you happiness. But you certainly can throw it at problems, but that's about the extent of it. So let's play this out. How does right now the world could use this more than ever? So let's say if I just did this fantasy and said, okay, everybody's going to do this pre-quest, everybody's going to do the happiness planning. How does the world look different?
Well, as you know, Donnie, when you're happy, your family tends to be happy. Your friends are happier. And happiness ripples, it spreads. And if this idea gets into the world, which I'm working very hard to do, get it into the world, talking to you, because you're going to buy lots of these books and you're going to tell all your friends about it, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
If this goes, it spreads, it ripples. It doesn't stay just with you. It goes down to your family, to your friends, and to your community. And if a lot of wealthy people did this, and it's not just about wealth, it's possessions, it's time, it's love, it's wisdom that we can share with others while we're still alive, here and now. And if that gets into the world, and there's a lot of people start doing this, then the happiness level in the world will increase little by little, and I'd be very happy about that.
Mr. Barney, it's been inspirational talking to you. I am going to get this book immediately. I could recommend it just based on what we've talked about to anybody, because we all could use a little happiness. I appreciate you taking the time.
Happy to be here. Thanks, Donnie.
Lowe's knows July 4th savings are worth celebrating. Right now, get up to 40% off select major appliances and get an additional 10% off 2 or more select major appliances. Plus, get 3 Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. These deals are coming in hot. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
You can call me James, I spent 23 years designing aircraft that officially don't exist for agencies you think TV made up. Until I started asking the wrong questions. Navy ships are recording objects moving at impossible speeds. Infrastructure is failing in coordinated patterns. The moon looks smaller than it did 10 years ago. None of this is a coincidence. The official explanations don't add up. This is Paranormal Aliens, where we connect the dots they don't want connected. If you're hearing this, you know where to get podcasts. Follow Paranormal Aliens. New episodes weekly until they shut me down.
Lowe's knows July 4th savings are worth celebrating. Right now, get up to 40% off select major appliances and get an additional 10% off 2 or more select major appliances. Plus, get 3 Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. These deals are coming in hot. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.